Hello class, and welcome to 7th grade inequalities. Two-step inequalities, that is. So, we all know this, it looks pretty simple, but wait, what's this? It's an inequality sign. It looks like a regular equation, but just with an inequality sign. So I want you to keep that in mind. It's still like solving an equality.
So same as equations.
Looks familiar, right? But now we're moving on to 7th grade stuff, and we're adding the inequality sign. So this reads 2x plus 6 is less than or equal to 10. Nice. So we're still gonna do our same steps. Do the line down the middle to show balance. What you do to one side, you're gonna do to the other side. Nice. So we're still solving for a variable. So we're gonna be in detective mode. So we're gonna be working on our steps backwards. This is gonna be step number 1, addition or subtraction. Multiplication and division is gonna be our second step. And parentheses and exponents are our third step. Nice. So let's start with number 1, addition or subtraction. Do we see any addition or subtraction? Yes. Here we have the plus 6. So what is the opposite of plus 6? Minus 6. Great job. So we're gonna do minus 6 on one side or both sides? Both. Nice. So minus 6 on both sides.
All right.
So now we have 6 minus 6, easy math. That cancels out to 0. So now we have 10 minus 6. What does that give us? 4. Nice. Now bring down the 4. Bring down your sign. Less than or equal to. And bring down your 2x. Now, step number 2, multiplication or division. Do we see any multiplication right here? 2 times x is less than or equal to 4. Yes, we see a multiplication right here. 2 times x. So what is the opposite of multiplication? Division. So we're going to divide by this number right next to the variable, which happens to be 2. And what I do to one side, I do to the other side. Now, these numbers are always going to cancel out, so that, boom. Bring down your x. Bring down your sign. And now, what is 4 divided by 2? This should be simple. It is 2. So x is less than or equal to 2.
All right, thank you, Mr. Diaz. So x is less than or equal to 2, guys. That is how we solve for these inequalities. Remember, it's just like solving for x whenever we did equations. It's the same exact steps, order of operations, but we do it backwards. But now, how do we put this on a number line? That's the part that we need to know as well for inequalities. This is what makes it a little different. Well, just like we talked about in that video a couple of days ago, to put an x is less than or equal to 2 on a number line, you have to think about the sign. So we have to look at all the numbers. So x can be all the numbers that are less than or equal to 2. So where's 2 on the number line? That's the first thing we gotta find. There it is. So here's 2. I'm gonna put my circle there. It has to be all the numbers that are less than or equal to 2. So think about it. What numbers are less than 2? 1, 0, -1. All these numbers on this side are less than 2. But it says less than or equal to. So can it also be 2 as well? Can it be 2 also? Yes, it can be 2 also. Which means it's gonna be a closed circle. So x is less than or equal to 2 would look like this. All the numbers that are less than or equal to that number 2 right there. All right, guys, here's another problem. Here's a new one. We have a fraction in front. A lot of people tend to struggle with having a fraction, so that's why I want to go over it today. Remember, these are 7th grade inequalities because it involves 2 steps. Here we have 2/3 x minus 2 is less than 2. So just like Mr. Diaz said before, we're going to draw our line to still show that both sides are balanced like this. So there we go. And then after that, we look at our order of operations. We're going to get into that detective mode because we have an x to solve for. We have a variable there. You know what? Instead of an x, I'm just going to put a different letter. Put the letter A, okay? Just for fun. So I'm going to look here at the 3 steps. This one is adding or subtracting. That's step 1. Step 2 is now this one. And step 3 is parentheses or exponents. So step 1, we have to look to see if there's anything that's being added or subtracted. Do you guys see anything here on this inequality that's being added or subtracted? Yes, yes. All right, where do you see that subtraction going on, guys? Right there. You see that minus 2? We got to do the opposite so that we can do the opposite of minus 2, which is plus 2 on both sides. Remember, whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other side. These are going to cancel each other out. Because if I have negative 2 and I add 2 more, I have nothing left, 0. So now all I have left over here is 2/3 a is less than, and bring down my sign. What's 2 plus 2, guys? 4. There it is. So there is our final step. 2/3 times a is less than 4. Here's the part a lot of people are still struggling with. So what do we do when we have a fraction in front of a letter like this? I want you to think about it this way. This fraction right now is multiplying times the letter a. So we have to undo it by dividing. The opposite of multiplying times 2/3 is dividing by 2/3. You see that right here? Well, when we divide fractions, remember, it's the same as multiplying by the inverse. So to get rid of that fraction, you have to flip it. So you multiply by 3/2. Remember, what you do to one side, you do to the other side. So there we go. Multiplied by 3/2 over here, and multiplied by 3/2 over here. Now we have something going on right here. So take a look here. These fractions all cancel each other out. So all we have left on the left side of this inequality is the letter a. So finally, we isolated that variable. It's by itself. A is less than. Mr. De Leon, how do I multiply this number 4 times this fraction? One more time, guys. It's real simple. Just put it over the number 1. Remember, the number 4 is the same as 4/1. So now we just multiply. 4 times 3 is 12. And 1 times 2 is 2. And that's what we get for our answer. A is less than 12/2. Mr. De Leon, is there another way we can write 12/2? Yes. This line right here means to divide. Remember? So we're going to just divide 12 divided by 2. And you should all get what? If you did 12 divided by 2, what would you get? 6. 6. There we go. So I'm going to write that right here. Hopefully you can see it. Is less than 6. A is less than 6.
All right, thank you, Mr. De Leon. So now that we know our answer is A is less than 6. So let's find the 6 on the number line. So is it going to be positive or negative? It's going to be positive. So here we have our 6. It's going to be right here. So now, what numbers are less than 6? Where are the numbers less than 6? This way or this way? They're going to be right here in this area. Here we have 2, which is 4, which is less than 6. 2 is less than 6. Negative 4 is less than 6. So we know that our arrow is going to go this way. It's gonna go to infinity. Any number less than 6. So, mister, can this be 6? Can A be 6? Is 6 less than 6? No. So our circle is going to be open because A cannot be 6.